So we will be covering a lot of things. I mean, like, we will be talking about Microsoft Copilot. We will be seeing live, uh, you know, demos of different Copilot and different Gen AI tools. Um, Here are the speakers who will be uh, participating today. So we have Alex, Sarmad, Andrew, Asif, Yuri, Gabriel, Amy, Zoeb, and Shikhar. So, I mean, all of these people will be like doing the presentations today. Thank you so much, everybody, for your joining us today on this. So, for those who are not familiar with Royal Cyber, so we have been in business for the last 15 years now. We are about 2,000 plus people worldwide. We are Microsoft Gold business partner, and we are also other cloud business partner. Also, we are also an ISO certified company, and we were the best place to work in Chicago for the past 5 years now. So I know I just by talking to a few people here, I just had a few questions. If you can just raise your hand or provide some comment. So what is your experience with LLM or OpenAI or Microsoft Copilot? So how many people have heard these terms before? Okay, so a lot of people have and I think my final question was, what comes to your mind when you think about the future possibilities of using ChatGPT, GPT-4o, and large language models in the company, in the enterprise? Anybody have any ideas on that? I think everybody has so many use cases, right? So I think let's get started with the real thing. So our first speaker will be Alex. Alex, if you can join us out here. Alex will be talking about Microsoft Copilot. Alex has about 15 years of working with Microsoft and other Microsoft products. So I will pass it to Alex. Oh yes.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. It's really an honor to be part of this AI Tech Day, surrounded by technologists, innovators, and AI enthusiasts. My name is Alex, and I'm here to talk about the tool that is transforming the way we work and interact with technology, which is Microsoft Copilot, and how it supercharges the productivity with tailored AI assistance. So how many of us use Microsoft Copilot in our day-to-day business activities? Yeah, I can see a few hands raised. So Microsoft Copilot, like the basic one which everyone are using is one on the Bing, and the other one is on 365 platforms. There is a Copilot which is sitting, listening to all the conversations you have on your Outlook or Teams or PowerPoint presentations everywhere, right? It is not just limited to the Microsoft 365. We also have Copilot for Power Platform, Dynamics. There's a Copilot for security. There's a GitHub Copilot that is helping people, developers with the coding. There is a Copilot in Microsoft Fabric where you can ingest all your data, and Copilot can help you prepare good dashboards and reports from the data whatever we have. So if you ever wonder how this Microsoft 365 Copilot is working, first the user will have access to the Copilot either from your Microsoft Teams or from the web, and the user has a prompt and he types in a prompt. Say for example, what is latest in my email inbox, right? So the first thing it has to know is where to pull all the data from. Microsoft has a graph where all your data gets ingested. It's a semantic index, right? So it pulls all your data from Outlook, Teams, PowerPoint, Word, everything. Okay, so that's where all your data is grounded. So you can see the data is grounded in your Microsoft graph. The question you ask is taken to the graph, and the graph gives a response, and the response is taken back to the LLM with a modified prompt. And the LLM, which is OpenAI, now prepares the answer based on the question, whatever you have asked, and sends the response back to the uh, teams, right, from where you have asked the question. So this is how the entire Microsoft Copilot is working from your Microsoft 365. So for example, let's assume you had a vacation for 1 week, and now you came back to your office and you have to run through your emails. Like you have like hundreds of emails in your inbox. Now you don't have time to read through all the emails. Now you can go to your teams. There is a Copilot which is sitting in over there. If I can quickly show that to you. Okay, so there is a Copilot sitting in your teams. Then you can go here and ask for any question like you have on your Outlook or um, anything. So you can just be like, when is my next meeting with Victor? So it is going to read through your Outlook, calendar, everything, and it is going to come back with an answer. So right now it is going through the graph, trying to find the information it has collected, and it is going to come back with an answer to you. So I just asked like, when is my next meeting with Victor? So it says like your next meeting with Victor is scheduled on May 30. So you're invited to like advanced API program. So it's just like pulling the information from over there. So this is the basic version of Microsoft Copilot. Now, how many of you know that we can extend the Copilot outside the Microsoft world, right? So now let's assume we have data outside of the Microsoft tenant, right? So you have a data sitting in ServiceNow in your knowledge base, or it can be on a Salesforce, or it can be on your SAP. Now, imagine you want to pull all your data from the ServiceNow knowledge base or the SAP or Salesforce, and now we want to ask questions from that data, right? So you can extend your Copilot by like two different ways. So I'm going to talk about that. Okay, so here is your Microsoft graph, which has information about your teams, calendars, files, and everything. Now, when you pull data from an external source, the first thing you have a question in mind is like, how is it secure? So Microsoft Graph Connector also provides a way you can securely use your Entra and assign right permissions for your data and push them to the Microsoft Graph. So there are two ways you can extend Microsoft Copilot. One is using your Graph Connector, where you have all your knowledge base. You can pull the data into your Microsoft Graph, and you can start asking questions on that graph. The other one is, let's say you don't want to share your data to Microsoft. Now you have your data and you have a set of APIs which can be used to talk to your data. Now you can create plugins to extend the APIs, and you can now talk to your data using your APIs. So these are the two ways you can do that. So here's the first example where we created a custom graph connector which pulls the data from the GitHub and pushes into the graph repository. And now when you ask a question, it is able to get the data from the GitHub and was able to post it to as an answer. And here is the way, like for example, this is a legacy application, whatever we had, and the application is accessed using APIs. So we created a Copilot that will use the APIs, talk to the legacy system, pull in the data, and show it in your teams. So there are two ways I mentioned as for extending the Copilot. One is the Graph Connector, and the other one is using plugins. So to develop using a plugin, you need a Copilot Studio to create a custom Copilot. So the Copilot Studio will help you customize, build, and manage your Copilots. So here's the workflow of how a Copilot Studio would work. It has access to your plugins, your Power Automate flows, where you can create your custom flows, and it will also have access to all your data and AI layer, where you can log in, create your Copilot, and then extend it to your channels like Teams or Slack, or if you want it to be part of your chatbot, you can do all this stuff. So when a user asks the question is taken to the Copilot, and Copilot is provided with an information of all set of APIs that it has access to, and it also knows what those APIs are capable of. For example, to get an information about a user, it knows what API to call and what information that needs to be passed. So it accesses the APIs and it prepares the answer. It uses the plugin server and brings back a response back to the user. So Copilot is also enabled in Microsoft Fabric. If you have like a lot of data and you have like data silos, Fabric is a solution for removing all your data silos. It's a one-leg solution from Microsoft where you can bring in all the data and you can prepare reports. You can do forecasting and everything on top of that. It has Copilot enabled on it, and here's an example of Copilot which is sitting on in Fabric. And when you have your data, you can ask Copilot to prepare a chart, and it is able to prepare charts something like this. So if you are part of the top management and you want to prepare a report very quickly, Copilot will be there to help you, assist in preparing those kind of reports for you. Here is the offering from Microsoft Copilot from Royal Cyber. We can help you with Copilot readiness. We can help you create custom Copilots. We can help you with the deployments. We can help you with custom Copilot advisories and change management, and also extend the Copilot so that you can leverage all the data which is residing out of the Microsoft world to bring into the Copilot and help across the organization. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Yes. So one of the application which we are implementing for a customer is so this customer wanted to integrate multiple systems. Say for example, he want to have like a master Copilot. Like Salesforce has its own Copilot, ServiceNow has its own Copilot. So he want to build a master Copilot that can talk to all other third-party systems and bring in the data from there, so that his users don't need to navigate between like multiple applications. Say for example, you have a query on HR, or you want to create a ticket. Everything can be done from a Copilot which is sitting there in your Teams. So last week we had a chance to go to Microsoft Build conference, and Microsoft is also working towards the same goal, like to create like a master Copilot. So we were able to talk to a lot of product managers and everyone in the Build conference, and we are having like multiple meetings with them, seeing like how to achieve this. Yeah. Any other question? Next, I would like to invite Sarmad to talk about how AI is transforming in education sector.
So thanks to Royal Cyber for having me here today. My name is Andrew Dorn. I run partnerships in North America for a company called Crown Peak. And I'll talk a little bit about who Crown Peak is. But we're just launching our partnership with Royal Cyber, and very excited about the potential of our companies working together, and very glad to talk to all of you today. We're lucky to have a nice clear day to get down here so everybody could attend. With Chicago, you just never know. So as I was thinking about getting ready for the presentation today, something jumped in my head, and I'm going to date myself here. And I'm going to see if I can date anybody else in here, and not actually date, but get an idea how long you've been around. So, when I'm thinking about AI, I was thinking about a commercial that I used to hear a long time ago, and it started out with, "Is it live or is it Memorex?" Okay, so that's the thing about AI is that it's changing our perception on what's real and what's curated for us, right? And so I remember that commercial, they had Ella Fitzgerald singing on this tape, and she, you don't know if it was her live or if it was the tape that caused the glass to shatter. And it actually turned out it was the tape. So it was an advertisement for how accurate the recording was and how good their tape product was. Of course, we don't use cassette tapes anymore. So that's just a little while ago. The DXP market, I'm here to talk today about DXPs, digital experience platforms. So these are platforms like Adobe, Sitecore, Optimizely, Acquia, and Crown Peak. The DXP market is around a $15 billion market, total addressable market today. And it's predicted to grow to about $22 billion by 2028. So very large market, a lot of opportunities, and like any other technology, AI is really, really important. And so I was out looking at the at some of our competitors and just seeing how they're using AI today. So products like Firefly with Adobe, is anybody using that today? Yes, it's using Firefly. AI Writer in the Sitecore, AI Generator in Contentful, AI Assistant in Content Stack. Yes, so you're all using that. So the reality is that all the DXPs, they're using AI today. So we have to be doing that. Crown Peak is no different. We've got a team of it's probably about 20 people whose full-time job it is to figure out how we're going to leverage AI within our platform and to deploy it. And we've been in beta using some of our new capabilities, something we call Content Assistant, to generate content for the marketer to generate pretty amazing content in a very, very short period of time. Really impressive, and now we're moving into general release. So just a little bit about Crown Peak. So Crown Peak is it's an American company. Started back in 2001, so we've been around for over 20 years. We were a SaaS company in 2001, 2002. So before it was cool to be SaaS, Crown Peak was already there. And we've grown quite a bit. Crown Peak, we have large markets in North America and then over in Europe. And today we serve more than 1,200 brands globally, 850 enterprises globally with all of our platforms. And all of the analysts follow Crown Peak. So, Gartner, Forrester, IDC. IDC came out with the most complimentary reports, so we like them the best. They put us in the leader wave, especially for what we call hybrid headless DXPs. So we can operate in a full headless fashion. We can also publish static content directly from our CMS. That makes us kind of a hybrid approach, and a lot of companies like that. So within the DXP, you can see we've got a number of different pieces. So content management is at the core of everything, and that's where we're building most of our artificial intelligence today into via this Content Assistant. So the CMS is kind of core to that. We also have a native accessibility and digital quality scanning platform that we call DQM. So it'll scan the website typically, or the mobile site, whatever the site is, for adherence to WCAG 2.2 guidelines. People know what WCAG is and accessibility? No? Hearing impaired, visually impaired, yes. So right. So these are guidelines for people that have a disability, which is about 10 to 20% of the market, that need to use a screen reader on a website. So you and we can go out to a website and just surf and just use the website. Some people can't do that. And it represents a lot of revenue for the brand. But it also, today, it's really important that we're doing the right thing for all citizens and making things available to all. So that's what that platform does. And then recently we acquired a product discovery platform that what it does is it integrates with the e-commerce platform, any e-commerce platform, to kind of turbocharge the product search, product recommendations, and then visual merchandising. So any large internet retailer, anybody who's doing a lot of business on the internet with a lot of products, they spend a lot of time visual merchandising, making sure that the products look a certain way when you go on that website. So what our platform does is make sure that that information is presented in a way that is most pleasing and personalized to that consumer. And then when it makes recommendations, it uses artificial intelligence to know who you are as a consumer, to make the right recommendations of products to increase revenues, increase margin. So it works in addition to the e-commerce platforms. Okay, so what is a DXP? A DXP empowers people to effortlessly orchestrate digital experiences. And for us, this means on any screen. It could be the website, it could be a mobile app, it could be on a kiosk someplace, it could be on a watch. We'll publish content anywhere. And the idea is you make that as easy as possible. And we think artificial intelligence plays a really critical role here because it speeds up the creation of the content. And then we want to make sure that that content is available and can be used for any persona, any role, any category of shopper or customer that might be coming to a particular website. Want to make sure that that content is appropriate for those individuals. So just a little bit about global AI trends. Now, I don't know if I picked this up or not. This is going to break something. So anyway, some key trends here I thought were interesting. 35 by 2025. So next year, 35% of businesses are using Gen AI to develop products, co-develop products, doubling revenue growth, doubling. By 2026, Gen AI will handle 42% of marketing tasks. 42%. It's incredible stuff. By 2027, 40% of jobs will be redefined due to Gen AI adoption. Massive changes, right? And by 2028, 80% of software tests will be performed by Gen AI. So we're all here because we kind of know this stuff. So just a little bit about DXPs and why are DXPs adopting artificial intelligence? Why is it such a key imperative? First of all, there's an efficiency imperative. So high inflation, all of our economic conditions today are forcing businesses to do more with less. They have to be more efficient. They got to get more productivity out of the people that are working for them, and they got to be able to make greater margins. Today, Wall Street doesn't treat you kindly if you don't increase your margin and increase your revenues at the same time. You got to be doing both. So DXPs are right in line with that. Brands need to differentiate themselves. So this technology is available to everybody. So brands today have to use artificial intelligence just as table stakes. If they don't do it, they're going to fall behind. They're not going to have the efficiency, their costs are going to go up, and they're not going to sell as much product as they could otherwise do. And the rise of e-commerce of marketplaces is changing things dramatically. So that's making the fact that brands have to differentiate themselves even more important. And then the complexity of user journeys. So a tremendous amount of data is available. We all know that. So, but how do you digest that data? How do you use it fast enough so that you can create a journey for your consumer that's interesting, compelling, and gets them to want to buy from your brand? So the advent of AI allows us to do that. And super high expectations. So all of us today want it, when we go to a website, want it to be a personalized experience, right? DXPs know this, so they're leveraging data to make sure that that experience is personalized. If it isn't, or if they don't recognize you when you come back to the website, you probably go buy from another brand. So that's why, so the use of data, recognizing people, personalizing those interactions is at the core of what all DXPs are doing today. So where can AI be best deployed going into the future in a DXP? First of all, with content. Content is king on DXPs. And this is where we've deployed our content assistant. And now, you were talking about how fast you can create content for legal reasons. It's the same thing with a marketer. I mean, their job, so much of their time is spent creating content and then differentiating that content and personalizing that content for different types of people that might come to that website. So that's what DXPs are going to do, and they're going to continue to grow that. And then optimizing text for a particular KPI. So KPIs are king in a marketing department. So they're all gunning to achieve certain amount of interactions, website opens, page views, and interactions on the website, amount of time spent on the website. So the content that's created on these DXPs allows them to achieve those KPIs. Commerce is obviously, this is where Royal Cyber spends a lot of their time, is a very important use of AI, and within DXPs as well, it's very important. So within commerce, the key is having hyper-personalized recommendations. So when I go out and if I'm going to buy something, I want the recommendation to be smart. I don't want them to recommend something that has nothing to do with what I'm buying or what I'm interested in. So they need to know who you are as an individual, what your past activities have been, what your tendencies have been, and then using, I'll talk about in a moment, predictive analytics to be able to predict what's the next thing you're going to want to buy. End-to-end virtual experiences. So we know that for overall customer experience and for commerce, augmented reality, virtual reality technologies are going to start to be used more and more. So this is going to find its way into commerce and into technologies that we're using. And then customer service automation. So all of us, when we go to interact with a website for something that's important to us, a service that we're using, we're interacting with these customer service assistants. I find them kind of irritating sometimes. I don't know if anybody else does. I was out this week. Xfinity decided to increase my bill. And I said, oh, that's interesting. That's nice. So I said, well, I'm going to go out and have a talk with you about that. Because they didn't announce it. They just did it. So I went out and I wanted to use chat because I like chat. I don't want to talk to somebody on the phone. I'd rather chat. I can be more effective. And so I used the assistant for a little while. I think they figured out what my issues were. And then I just said, agent, I said, get me to somebody, right? Because I want to solve my issue. But what it allows them to do is to lower their staffing and allow them to be a lot smarter when they come on the line with you to help you resolve your issue. And DXPs are leveraging this. Search. This is something that's near and dear to our heart. So we're using with our product search, product recommendations platform. Search on a website today has to be really, really intelligent. So when a consumer enters a search argument, not only does that platform need to understand exactly what they're looking for, but they need to understand the intent. What else are they really looking for? What are they really trying to accomplish? And that's where artificial intelligence comes into play, because it can understand you as an individual and then also understand people like you. And when they've entered those search arguments before, what can that mean, right? You might have misspelled a word. You might enter a sentence that says, I'm looking for something that I can use this Saturday night. It needs to be able to understand that sentence and then understand your intent and then use that to drive the recommendation of products. And then also voice and image-based search is coming soon. So instead of just typing search arguments into a screen, you're going to be able to use your voice. You're going to be able to use images to be able to convey to the DXP what you're looking for. Marketers, AI is absolutely king. So coming up with automated marketing workflows, making the marketer more effective, more efficient, more thoughtful in how they're interacting with the end consumer. It's really a tremendous opportunity. SEO optimization and also coming up with A/B testing. We all do A/B testing from our DXPs today. The idea is that we're going to be able to increase the velocity of those tests. So we can do more testing faster, figure out exactly what works and what doesn't work when we're marketing to an end consumer, and be able to figure that out faster. And then analytics and reporting. So analytics we know is critical today. It's going to be critical in the future. The ability to digest a lot more information and then be able to understand and go skate where the puck is moving as opposed to where it is right now. So to be able to anticipate where that customer is going to want to go, what their next request is going to be, a couple steps down in their journey is really what it's all about. And then making that reporting available on a real-time basis. So in closing, just to highlight some additional, factoids from what we're seeing within DXPs. 1 in 4 organizations have already deployed AI. They're already there. Early AI adopters are producing content 50% faster than non-adopters. So to be competitive, they have to be able to create content like that. Average amount of hours saved per week by marketers, by content marketers, 11.4 hours. That's 25% of their time now can be used for something else. So instead of just creating content, figure out what content you need. Figure out strategically where that brand should be positioned. And then 54% is the amount of content required to be generated across industries in 2023. So just a lot of great arguments as to why AI is so critical within the DXP. So that's my talk today. I appreciate you having the time. Any questions about DXPs? Any questions about AI? Thank you very much.
Hi everyone. My name is Asif Hussain. I am heading the practice of intelligent automation at Royal Cyber, and today I will talk about how automations are changing and what new scenarios of automations are now we are able to automate with the help of AI in general and generative AI in specific. So over the years, what we always have been saying that RPA-based automations in specific are best suited for high volume, repetitive, labor-intensive, rule-based, and low variance processes. It's still valid, but with the advancement in AI now, not necessary to be rule-based. It's not necessary to be low variance anymore. And we are able to handle the processes even which are complex in terms of decision making or in terms of handling the input data that is not really structured. So in general, what robotic process automation based automations are, they are handwork. They can operate your computer. They can operate copy paste. They can extract data. They can type into forms just like your hands do on your keyboard and mouse. But with the help of AI now, you can put head work, decision making into your automations. Why to go with RPA with Gen AI, where it helps? So Gen AI, we all know that if we ask a question, if we give it a prompt, a lot of times it gives information beyond our scope also. It just goes what it has learned over the internet and comes up. With the help of RPA, we can put context to what we are asking. So as the initial session, the first one about autopilot also mentioned that how we were able to utilize the Gen AI with specific course content, right? Similarly, we can use this RPA technology to give that context, and I'll talk about a couple of scenarios and examples on later slides. We can, with the help of RPA, we can select the right model for Gen AI in different scenarios. So as in the last slide I said, it can be your brain, your automation's brain, and RPA is the muscle doing the automation itself. We can put human in the loop with RPA. So Gen AI in general is whatever it gives, we can put a human to review that in certain cases where we want. So basically, there are these three scenarios that how I divide automations with the help of Gen AI. The first scenario is a reader-writer scenario where information is read from certain systems and response after processing through LLM is sent back to certain other systems or the same systems. So, for example, this could be a chat bot your customer is interacting with, and the query that you get through chatbot or query that you get on your ticketing system, support system, or your emails is understood by the LLM and fed by the RPA bot to the LLM, and a response is created and sent back to the LLM. So an example could be, in fact, let me take talk about the examples on the next slide. Just let me briefly touch that there are two other models that I call them doer and assistant models. Uh, Doer actually understands the query that it gets from multiple systems through RPA and performs certain actions on certain other systems. For example, resetting a password. And assistant model does both, perform certain actions and sends response. Let me just briefly touch for an example of each of them. So first one here, you can see it's just a reader writer. For example, you are selling something on Amazon and you have certain products listed on Amazon. Customers are either putting reviews on your products and you want to interact with them. You can put an RPA bot that keeps on reading the comments you're getting and creating responses in the line you wanted to respond to, and using your admin interface for the Amazon, send it back right away to the customer. Or your prospective customer is asking questions about your product and looking at the support material or the products manuals. Your LLM understands your product and can respond to those queries without a human user to look into it. And all this is actually performed through RPA, reading of the queries and writing back the responses. In doer model, it can be like if you're getting a ticket for a password reset, and the RPA reads that ticket and understands that information, that unstructured ticket through LLM, that the customer is asking for a password reset, and it can go ahead and trigger an RPA bot that actually changes the password or resets the password. So there is a actual RPA bot involved that is performing the action, and the LLM is actually just understanding what the intention of the automation is. And here in this scenario, in fact, we did implement this recently for a bank that customer is interacting through a chat bot. And let's suppose a customer says, I see a transaction that I don't recognize, and sometimes some fraudulent activity is happening probably. Now, RPA reads that conversation, and through the knowledge base, it sends the knowledge base to the LLM and understands what has to be done in this scenario. And it knows that, okay, card has to be blocked and transaction has to be reversed. Now, there are two different bots that actually do this in different systems, and probably a third one to regenerate a new card. So after understanding the ask through LLM, an RPA bot or 3 RPA bots will be triggered, and all these actions will be taken in 3 different systems, and response will be sent back on the same medium. Let's suppose it was a chat bot. All right, these 3 scenarios that I talked about are utilizing Gen AI during the automation, when automation is doing a task. But GenAI can also help in developing the automations. And that's what we call an autopilot for developers. So you can just write a prompt and an automation workflow will be created by itself. And you can just tweak it to maybe make it even better, to put some steps there, here and there if you want to, or to configure the systems it is interacting with to provide credentials. So let's suppose if we, all right. So here is this UiPath Studio, uh, which is used mostly it is the biggest RPA tool available in the market, and it I'm going to showcase a capability that it has for Gen AI. And here you can create connectors for your applications your automation is going to talk to. And if I go to the generate automations section, I can just write a prompt of my automation that I have written already for saving some time. And I just paste it. And it says, create automation that downloads email, PDF, attachment, invoice, and logs in SAP Coupa to put invoice into it. After this, also update status related to this invoice on Salesforce account. And I just click this. Now, with the help of Gen AI, it understands the context and it will create a workflow and an entire automation that is almost ready to run. I'll just have to plug in the credentials. So here you can see it has listed all the steps that I just verbally wrote. And there's a loop for multiple invoices to process. And it is doing all the things that I wanted it. So it created this workflow on the fly. This automation is just created within seconds. All right. So now I'll just quickly show a demo where intelligently invoice is being processed by this RPA automation. It's a bot that picks up automations, picks up invoices and process them and matches them with the purchase orders that are approved in the system. And here's what it does. So there is this, all right, so there are invoices placed in different folders over the cloud or local computer, received through email or through different mediums like fax. And UiPath's document processing engine picks them up from all these sources and then sends through the integration services to OpenAI to understand what the invoice is about and all the details, all the numbers that it has. UiPath's robot also picks approved purchase orders from the backend, whatever ERP you're using. And it can match understanding the context from both, that whether the invoice that I'm trying to process matches with any of the purchase orders and all the checks that we need, it can perform. And if everything looks good, it can go ahead with approval of that invoice and processing it for the payment. If something is mismatched, it can go for the action center and bring a human reviewer, a document specialist, to look into it, that what's mismatching. And document specialist can either reject the invoice or accept it. So in most cases, up to 90, 95, or 90 or 95% of invoices are automatically processed without a human reviewer to look into it. All right, so let's see how this automation works in the simplest way. Okay, it started running. So here in one folder, I have 4 invoices. They are in different formats because every organization may have different invoices coming up in different formats. And through AI, it can understand multiple invoice formats and it knows what to read it from. And you can see this is a demo system to show some approved purchase orders that it will go and read from. It can plug into any ERP. And this is the folder where the output will come. There will be an Excel file generated by the automation at the end. We can plug it in with ERP to put the approvals there also. So now the automation is running. It picked up the purchase orders that are approved, and one by one, it will pick one invoice at a time. And this is the prompt that it is doing to the OpenAI. And I just, for reference of this demo, I'm displaying it on the screen also, that what it is asking. So it is comparing the context and the context of the invoice as well as the purchase order through LLM and getting the response in a specific format that is structured. And this is the response displayed on the screen. It's too small for you guys to maybe read. And there are 4 invoices that it will process and generate output in Excel file that I will display in the end. And it will have invoice number, purchase order, and other credentials that it reads from the invoice, as well as it will have a reason why it approved or did not approve a particular invoice. So because of the LLM, it understands context and it can comment that what part of the 2 documents were mismatching and why it is important to match those. This still running, and now it's done. And this is the result file created in the same folder. And it has certain details. The last column you can see is the reason that I was talking about. So that was it about the demo. If anyone has any questions, you can take it now. Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm still not exactly clear what RPA is. Is it basically just a function that does something that's pretty, like, you mentioned low variance, like greater path? And the idea here is you're using like an LLM. If you have a hammer, you have a screwdriver, the LLM presented some to whoever, and it decides the appropriate RPA, appropriate hammer. That's the idea. You basically connecting.
Partly yes. Partly yes. So a part of your question is what exactly is RPA, right? Is it? Okay. So the full form is robotic process automation, and it is kind of an automation technology that we use to automate the tasks that are repetitive in nature. And if a task is manual before the automation, of course, and if a human user, let's suppose, is performing it daily, and there are certain steps that he has to do to perform that. Let's suppose a person involved in processing invoices probably is collecting invoices from emails or different mediums and putting them together into some folder, and then reading each of them and maybe entering it into some ERP system, typing the details about like invoice number, this was the product, this was the business unit that ordered this thing, whatever. And maybe he's also responsible for matching it against a purchase order, right? So all these steps are manual that a person is doing, and maybe for processing a single invoice, it's taking 5 to 10 minutes for him, right? This is something a bot can do. This is one example of an automation that RPA can do. Any manual steps that your human workers are doing repetitively can be automated through RPA. But with the LLM, now we have more liberty to automate even the processes that need some intelligence, right? So let's suppose you start a process through, you want to process support tickets through RPA, but ticket has a paragraph of information written that like customer wants this done, right? Now a bot without AI does not know what this information is that is written there. If a bot is being triggered by a button that is specifically designed to do a certain activity, right, or a drop down that tells exactly what to do, it's easier to do. But if the information you have is unstructured, you will need AI to understand the task first and then perform the automation that the RPA bot will do. Hope I answered your question. For one organization, we automated their, it's the biggest retail gaming store in North America, and they have thousands of stores in US. The use case was that daily when the store closes, they want to reconcile what the branch manager has submitted in the bank branch and what were the point of sale terminals sale for that day, right? And there were scenarios in that, like, let's suppose a sale within a store is of less than $400 in a day. That manager can decide not to deposit cash same day, and he can accumulate it with the next day's cash. So bot was able to pick up the point of sales amounts for each branch, and there were hundreds of bank branches where he can submit. So pick up those branches and reconcile the amounts. If the point of sales amount is less than 400, it will keep it somewhere to integrate it with the next day's integration or reconciliation. So it's just another scenario. Someone was doing it manually, comparing two sheets in the past, right? All right, thank you. So I will call Yuri from InfoBip. He has a very exciting deck here for you today.
So I'm here representing InfoBip with Drew. InfoBip is the biggest company that you never heard about. You heard? Oh my goodness, you are the only one. Okay, you are the guy. Exactly.
CEO is a legendary guy.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you. Very good. So we are like 2 billion revenue. We are fully integrated everywhere. Just to give you a perspective, when you receive any kind of SMS, most probably is passing through our platform. We run around 60% of the whole SMS traffic in US, and we are fully connected. So what you are seeing here, and that's the reason we are here today, is to show you exactly what we are seeing globally and how this is going to transform our business. So currently we are seeing two major powers coming together. In one side, you see exactly Gen AI with Microsoft, OpenAI, bringing them together. Last week, they just released the ChatGPT 4, and at the same time, you have the super apps. You have on one side Meta with all the apps they have, Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp. Then you have Google bringing RCS and Apple bringing their Apple Business Chat. And this is all going to open a huge new money to this market. We are talking about $4.4 trillion that we are bringing together. And now we are going to explore with you some things that is already happening in the market, especially on the orange side. So what we are exploring in terms of sales and marketing. One thing that is very, very important, and we are seeing already, and I'm pretty sure you are seeing as well, it's very important to use an AI, but at the same time to keep in your platform in terms of you are avoiding the hallucinations that is happening. Even with the chat GPT 4.0, I don't know if you saw, but there is some news on BBC where says basically you need to put some glue in your pizza before eating, and you can eat it through like 7 stones a day. So you have this kind of hallucination all the time that is very, very common. But when you are talking about business, this is a problem, and this can create some liability for you, job for you as a legal. But what is important here is exactly to keep in the platform, and then you can still use it, but you have an advantage of it, but it is still in a nice way. So what we do is exactly to take all these channels connected with our platform or any platform that you're already using and creating the orchestration over different channels. And if needed, going to a human agent. The most important thing when you're talking about Gen AI is also to have a very good CDP where you're understanding your customer and you're bringing together the best to the customer, not for you. And obviously, this is connected with a very strong analytics. And the core of the platform should be the AI assistant, where basically empowers the business to do different things, better conversation, more relationship with the customer, easy to integrate it. But the most interesting thing as well is in the past, brands, they are talking a lot about developing apps. And now you have something that is called as app fatigue. You look your phone and you have so many apps there, you can't stand it anymore. And it's cost to keep them, is also cost, the whole maintenance, and customers in general, they are not happy to use your app. So what is important here and how this is being transformed? You basically have everything inside of those super apps. The customers, they are already familiar using them. They use in regular basis. They use WhatsApp, they use iMessage, they use SMS, and then you're bringing together the platform that is connected with everything, and you have multi-language, you have the branded conversations, and it's easy to train on both sides, on your side as a brand, as a company, and the customer as well, to start interacting with you. And what we are doing is exactly to combine all of this in a better shape. Here you see a kind of evolution of exactly how this is bringing together. So I think you all already had the experience when, for example, you are in a chatbot and you are going for a web chat or you are texting a brand and you'd like it to solve your problem, and then you have that boring freaking menu. Pick the option. No option suits me. I would like to speak with someone. And this is an infinite loop. You can't just go there and then say, okay, I need to call. And I am the other guy who hates to call. I heard you. I am exactly the same. So the evolution that you have is exactly on the second point, where you have a better integration, you have a better conversation experience. But when you bring in AI, you go for the last one. You go exactly for more meaningful conversations where the AI understands the customer through the platform, what is their needs, how they are using, and they are integrating with a better relationship. And AI experience across different journeys helps exactly to empower the engagement platform. Here you have different ways how in general you can relate it to any customer. You go from just virtual assistants on discovery and customer relationship process, and then you go and evolve to some promotional things. But this is also connected to more personalized ways to bring the customer attention. And at any point, again, you should bring agents. So the customer then knows that you really would like to speak with them, solve their problems and issues as well. And why this is interesting? Because first, when you have the AI integration here, you are saving agents time, where basically they are focusing on more important minimum things. But at the same time, you are improving the customer satisfaction when you are solving their problems, if you can, over AI, but you are easily bringing them together to speak with your agents if needed. And this is all orchestrated through one single platform and through AI. Here on this presentation, I'm going to focus specifically on retail because it's easier for us to understand and everything. We have more cases for different segments. We can talk, for example, about the BFSI, how they are using. If you'd like to explore more, including demos as well, I'm happy to help you with. But I'm going to show just some of the main cases that we have. All the cases here, they are real, and it's showing exactly how this is already happening, how AI already transformed the retail relationship with their own customers. So one important thing to understand, when we are talking about messages, in general, we are okay about receiving messages. The problem is not receiving the messages, but the messages, they don't relate it to us. And this is the problem. So, and now, so far, the brands, they are not doing a good job here. We have 75% of the customers saying the messages they are receiving in terms of marketing, services, everything that is connected to brands don't relate to them. And this is exactly the transformation that we can have with AI, and many, many customers, they are already doing. In terms of customer relationship, think about you start, for example, Googling something, and you're searching for a product. And then you go from discovery process to the purchase, and then you might have the post-purchase relationship. We call this customer journey. Customer journey is it's kind of a complex, looks complex, but is not, it shouldn't be complex. Here you have three main stages over the customer journey. You have the discovery, purchase, post-purchase, and all possible lines of interaction for every stage that you have. Then let's go for the cases, and then you can understand how we can touch and how AI currently is transforming each of those stages in a better way. So the first one is AI is being used by some brands. This is a real one, actually, to bring new leads and sign new customers. One of the main challenges brands they have is to create the opt-in list. For example, I don't know if you know, but brands can't just go after you or start sending you messages without your consent. It's called opt-in. AI is being used specifically to go over customers who would like to interact with their brands and create those lists. And then you start receiving according to what you want, according to your needs. If you don't need anymore, any brand should remove you from their list, and you should stop receiving messages from them. So this makes sure that you are first related to, you're opting, and second, you're receiving messages that are according to your needs. And currently, we have some business already doing this. Second thing is when, for example, you already have your customer base, and now you know more or less what are the customers they want, what are their preferences, and then you can start bringing and encouraging them about new products. You are showing them what is happening, how customers they are already using some products, and you can show to your customers new products, new promotions, and then you can bring those promotions and starting obviously converting them. Then we have a very interesting case that we received approval to share with you with Unilever. So Unilever did something very, very interesting. I think it's very boring product to sell, but they are basically trying to improve sales of fabric softener. It's common. You go to the supermarket, you buy a fabric softener, doesn't matter. And in general, you have like one common brand, and is the brand that you're still keeping with, right? So what they did, they thought, okay, what is like the customer behavior relationship with my products? What do they do in general? And then they realized something very interesting. So imagine like you have that amazing silk shirts, linen shirts, and it's totally destroyed. You need to do something about it. And you do like to do yourself, or you go for a dry cleaning. In general, what people do? They call their moms. Right, mom, I have this. Yes, I have this shirt here. What did you do? They created an AI specifically like your mom would reply you. What happened? 14 times higher sales on their fabric softener, just with that. So you could text the AI like your mom, I have this, what I should do, I have this product, oh, you should do that, 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 that. You know the amazing videos that in general you have like on Instagram saying, oh, you need to take a vinegar, now water, and do that. It's exactly what they are doing, but in a nice way, also related to Unilever products. And so we are talking here about new products, encouraging conversions and so on. But at the same time, one thing that happens a lot is you have 95% customers putting products on the cart and just leaving there, not finishing. And this is another thing that you can do. What is interesting to say is we are talking about cookless world currently. So you cannot track those customers' behavior, what is happening through cookies anymore. So that's the beauty of AI. AI can then track down, and you can go again after your customer saying, look, I know you left the product here. Why? Can I help you? Or you can offer some discount to them, and they can conclude the shop. And currently, this is happening and is working super well. So we are converting a lot of those shops, abandoned carts, and we are converting into sales with our customers. And another thing is, as soon as you have the relationship, is how to cross-sell, how to look now for different products, different behavior, different things that your customers would like to buy. And again, I have one case from Unilever. And this was interesting because they had a very interesting customer base on their ice creams. And they started texting the customers about the new flavors, new things they are doing, they are trying, they are asking customer opinion about maybe there is a new flavor that you'd like to try. And they increase 30,000 times their ice cream sales because of AI integrated. So it's very, very impressive. So it's exactly like how you personalize the offers and then how you bring this together to your customers. And another interesting thing that we already explored, but to give more details, is how AI is being used by different brands in terms of questions. So you don't usually want your customer to go just for Google to ask about your products. It's important to keep them and make sure they understand the product and what the product is, how to use it, and so on. And at the same time, you don't want to have your agents all the time talking to customers because they are wasting their time where they could be used in more expensive ways. So you have both worlds here connected. You can use AI for all these questions that in general comes, but at the same time, if it is something more specific, something more important, you can also transboard to the agents to answer the question for your customers. And this is also being used and obviously converting more. And another thing that is being used as soon as you finish, for example, the purchase, that is really, really upsetting. You finish the purchase, and there are two cases that in general happens. The first one is you purchase something and silence till the product is delivered to you. You don't, then you, if it is taking longer, you're worried about something, then you go to the website to say, okay, is there a problem? Did I pay correctly? I didn't receive any information. Then you have the tracking number there. Then you need to understand, okay, is this UPS, FedEx? Where is this? And then you go to another website. And many brands, what they are doing is AI powered, where going after there's tracking numbers and giving information to customer, and customer knows, and they don't need even to ask the brands where my product is, where it's going, what is going on, and they have estimated as well. This obviously improves the customer satisfaction and also decreases number of customers going after a brand or using Google to complain that no communication was made and so on. So this is another thing. And here another real example about the new thing that we are doing with a customer. The name is Super Food Chef. So basically, what they are doing is they created this AI, and imagine like you have one chef for yourself. So you have a party of four people going to your place, and then you have one with gluten restriction. Another one is vegan. And then you ask the chef, okay, I need to cook and should be gluten-free, vegan, but I should have some meat as well, but I don't know how many should I buy, or can I use something that I already have in my fridge? You can text everything, and this is creating for you exactly the recipe. In general, we go just for recipes, or we have like recipe books that we are looking, okay, how to prepare beef Wellington, for example. Now you have everything here on the AI integrated. And it's interesting because who is a little bit older, in general, we had like those recipe books you needed to find, and then we have like to track where is it. The new generations, they don't do this anymore. And this was specifically targeting them. 40% of their traffic was from Gen Z and millennials. So this is also combining this and is bringing them together. And this thing just doesn't do like the recipes, but also help you. For example, if you have some special dietary that you would like to follow, they help you to build and to go to the supermarket and buy the products as well. So another one that is also very, very interesting that I never realized how important it is automakers and how they are using AI and all kind of chats to keep a relationship with customers. If you realize you don't have any kind of a relationship with your brand, with the automaker, you have a relationship with a dealer. You go to buy a car and you buy a car from the dealer, not from the automaker. And this whole process on the customer journey for automakers was made through dealers where they are asking, okay, who is the customer? Who is buying my car? Who wants to drive my car? Where the problem is? Because even in the maintenance piece, you also have the dealer doing for automakers. Lexus was one of the first ones to do it, where basically they created everything on AI integrated with the chatbot. And then they have now relationship with customers, knowing who the customers are, what are their needs, feedback, and also they look for different opportunities or different models that they can sell to customers. So they started doing that, and now they are getting exactly the relationship that it was dependent on dealers by themselves. Another interesting point. So in a nutshell, we are talking here about some Gen AI cases that we can explore. But the most important thing is we love to talk. We can text or we can talk. So conversational everything is the most important thing. Doesn't matter the channel that you are using. And AI is empowering all those channels to do exactly on this way. So you have a conversational marketing, conversational sales, and conversational support. So everything can be empowered. And here you can try chatting with our chatbots. I think now we have a break, right?
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
Perfect.
So I think
Thank you.
After sitting in the chair and just kind of hearing everybody, I'm happy to be up here now. Move around a little bit. So I want to thank Royal Cyber for setting this up. Really cool getting to see some of the other people that work in marketing, sales, engineering, partnerships. My name is Gabriel. I manage agency partnerships at Bold Commerce. Not here to really sell you on Bold. I'm really here to talk to you about all of the themes that are important to you right now. And right now it's AI. And if you talk to different people, each person has a different opinion. Some people have fear. They think it's like Terminator, Running Man, all those old 80s movies. And then you got some people like me that it took me a while to figure out, what's my theme? If you looked at the brochure, it talks about me talking about streamlining checkout payments, demystifying what AI and checkout looks like. And I'm like, okay, but what is my theme? I didn't have a theme until like a couple of days ago. And I randomly woke up. First thing I thought about was Dr. Seuss. Show of hands, how many people are familiar with Dr. Seuss? Awesome. The one I thought about wasn't Cat in the Hat. I thought about, oh, the places you will go. And you read that as a kid, read that as an adult. And everything that's going on with AI, everything that Andrew at Crown Peak was talking about, Yuri was talking about, several of the other people from Royal Cyber, it's all about the places that we can go with AI. And when you really look at it further, you look at a customer journey. And what Bold does is we provide a checkout solution that's geared towards headless and composable architectures. So it's either headless, where it's decoupled from the front end, and our checkout solution is there, and it can either replace an e-commerce platform or be platformless, or it can be composable. Think of composable as having like Lego blocks. You got a Lego like you see here. Across the customer journey, you're going to see things like A/B testing, an Optimizely or an A/B Tasty, right? You're going to see DXPs like Crown Peak. You're going to see site search, Algolia, Coveo. And there's personalization every single step of the way there. And typically, once you get to checkout, it kind of stops. Like for some reason, there hasn't been that forward progress to taking the experimentation that you do with A/B testing and using that to checkout. Because ultimately, the most important thing that we all care about is not getting lost in a button war or digital wallets. And when you see these digital wallets, you're seeing, how many of you have gone on a website right now, almost bought, and you abandoned your cart? Yeah. Too complicated. What's another reason you all were like, you know what, I'm out? What'd you say? Mm-hmm. No, you. That happens to me too, right? So it's impulse. Maybe a buy now button would have gotten you right then and there. Maybe if they had information around what's important to you, what payment options you preferred, we might have been able to get you faster. Well, that's what's happening with checkout right now. And something that we're really focused on is how do we just reduce friction around checkout? AI is going to be a big part of that. AI is going to allow us to take those predictive analytics, make quicker decisions. And when you look at our company, Bold Commerce, we're partner-led growth. We actually rely on our ecosystem. So the people that are up here today, we rely on them because as we take that data, they take that data, it's going to make it so much easier to reduce a lot of what you see here, which is a lot of clutter at certain checkouts. Not everybody's cluttered. If you really look at it right now, we're heading into the third generation of what checkout is. First generation, take it or leave it. It's what Adobe, Magento, SAP Hybris, all these old e-commerce platforms that haven't really invested as much in checkout. Fast forward, you go to conversion-based checkout. And that's all about, okay, let's make higher converting experiences so people buy faster. Does faster always mean more money though? I don't think so. And if it were that, why are we still seeing 70% cart abandonment? The next generation we're looking at is personalized checkout flow. And when you look at personalized checkout flow, that is all about shopper context, understanding what's important, understanding the payment options. And AI is going to help us with that. AI is going to help with coding around that. AI is also going to help when it comes to just true personalization with A/B testing. So when you optimize the checkout experience, the right layout, is it a one-page checkout? Is it a three-page checkout? Is it going to be based around somebody that's buying on a desktop versus somebody on a tablet versus somebody on mobile? The right promotions. You know, like are we setting the right promotions at checkout to make it easier for customers to understand what there is available and convert? But not just convert. Can we upsell the right products? Can we turn that into a bigger sale? So if somebody is, you know, emulating just shopping cart, right? Oftentimes people are just trying to get people in and out. And you shouldn't really think that way. You should think not just conversion, but average order value, right? Once you got me a conversion, can you get me on 2 or 3 other items? Because that's how we're going to get to what's sustainable. And that's going to be lifetime value. One of the things our platform can do is really A/B test different checkout flows. And when I say a checkout flow, I'm talking about once a customer clicks proceed to checkout, one flow could be a social flow. How many of you have bought on Instagram before? Wow, awesome. I didn't expect that many people. That's awesome. Right? Because I saw some statistics around Gen Z is doing a lot more with TikTok and Instagram when it comes to buying. What if you're a big brand and you are approaching checkout from an experimentation standpoint? You could have checkout flow A, B, C, D, E. And amongst those, you have one that is a social blog, right? Versus an Instagram, versus a product demo. Let's say you have a product demo. I'm a guitar player. If I'm on Guitar Center, I see a guitar video, somebody's playing guitar. Get me on the impulse, because that average order value is really high. So a suggestion there could be, let's hit a buy now, let's hit a drawer checkout so the video doesn't get interrupted. Watching this person play Stairway to Heaven or whatever it is. Hit that buy now, drawer checkout comes up. due to having AI and having the integrations that we have with payment, shipping, loyalty options, be able to put a discount on that if it's showing there. And then just like that, I'm able to buy. That could be one flow. And that could be a force multiplier for a business that's looking to increase. So when we're looking at it right now, if you're a partner, and when I say partner, I mean a tech partner, AI is going to give us a better opportunity to work together even more. It's going to be really important for us to really understand our customers more than ever. As we move more towards personalization, it's going to be very, very pertinent. If you're a brand, go ahead, Andrew.
As you're talking through this, I was thinking about is one of the things I really like about Amazon, when I'm shopping on Amazon, is that when I select something, I can just hit one button and I'm done. I'm out. It knows me, it knows my credit card, it knows my payment, it knows I like to get shipped, and just one button and I'm gone. So really, really simple.
It is. And I mean, honestly,
In some cases that's great. In other cases, one-on-one more right? But
I agree. And then when you look at Amazon, not going too down a rabbit hole, and it's a margin war, right? You got a lot of e-commerce brands now, they're starting to look at, boy, this Amazon model was cool, but they're also like basically looking at the most popular products and reproducing them. And now they're charging you to be within the first 1, 2, 3 pages. So if you're an e-commerce brand, and I would say A/B testing around checkout flows is going to be based on your traffic. So if you're a small business owner, you may not see the value right away. But if you are working for a brand that is at a point where an uplift in conversion will get you from 200 million to 215 million, that's where it's really going to help you grow. And as people want to replicate that Amazon model, you can do that. You can do that with AI. You can do that with the right partners. And we're seeing that a lot. We're seeing a lot of success just working with partners. We're seeing success working with certain agencies that have this sense of innovative energy, where they want to fix things. They don't want something that's just straight out of the box. They want that challenge. This is where we're seeing a lot of growth and opportunity. And you know, to kind of quote Dr. Seuss in the most cheesy way, older places you will go. Before I go, hopefully this video works. I wanted to show a demonstration here of a buy now through email, then post-sale add to a cross-sell. What this means is once a customer goes on, they click buy now, and the order is confirmed, we can still increase that cart. And you're able to do that with our technology. So let me see if this works. If it doesn't work, hit me, you know, offline. I'm happy to show you a video, but see if this works. Nope. All right. Hit me up after. I'll be happy to show you.
Bring this down a little bit. We're almost the same height. All right. Perfect. So thank you again to Royal Cyber for hosting this great event today. I hope you have all been enjoying all the sessions and the great speakers as much as I have. And I hope you'll enjoy as well a little of what I have planned to talk about today about AI, specifically in regards to the current and future state of loyalty and promotions. So a little bit about me. My name is Amy, and I work for a company called visionaries. So visionaries is a headless loyalty and promotions engine. Ultimately, what this means is that we can provide customers with loyalty programs, referral programs, digital gift cards, automatic in-cart promotions, and coupon codes. And we can integrate pretty much anywhere and everywhere on a website, on your mobile application, on an in-store point of sale, and for our customers who have an omni-channel loyalty experience that's interconnected, all of the above. Myself personally, I've been in the composable commerce space for about the last 5 years on both the product side and the systems integrator side. I've been in healthcare tech before that. So obviously over the last kind of 10 years, I've seen a lot of changes in loyalty, in commerce, and obviously how tech can and will support that in the future that I'll speak to today. So just a little bit about what I plan to cover, just a little bit on kind of what I've seen working at a loyalty company on the current state of customer loyalty, and where there's kind of a gap and a lot of kind of lackluster loyalty programs out there. From that, I'll talk a little bit about how AI can turbocharge loyalty. So how it can help us kind of bridge these gaps to make loyalty programs really live up to their full potential for customers and for brands. And then I'll end with a little bit on kind of what we've been considering and some of our roadmap plans for AI with Visionaries specifically. So in terms of the current state of loyalty programs, loyalty is no longer monogamous. So what we mean there is that, as a customer, you don't have one brand that you're committed to and it's your one-stop shop and you'll only shop there. On average, customers have about 16 loyalty programs per person that they're a part of. I'm sure all of you can think of a number that you are a part of, but really are only kind of actively using about half of those. Now, we know loyalty programs are everywhere, right? 90% of brands at this point offer some sort of a rewards program, but most of them are kind of, cookie cutter, right? They're not really thinking about their unique customers, their unique brand, and how they should be positioning their program rewards and incentives. So we have a little bit of a quantity versus quality problem here that AI can potentially help us solve. And that quality problem is an issue. 80% of customers are willing to switch brands if they're not getting what they need from a brand that they're previously loyal to. And in the world of e-commerce, customers have so many options out there that you really need to get it right. But I don't want to kind of set the stage on a negative note here. I think we can flip this around to say that although a poor loyalty experience can cause churn, there's really a lot of opportunity of the good that a really great loyalty program can do. So how can AI kind of turbocharge this and have us moving away from kind of those lackluster, cookie cutter, same old, one size fits all loyalty programs? Well, there's a few different types of ways, and AI can help loyalty programs for the end customer. So giving them the offers, the rewards, the incentives that they're after. It can help the brand by really finding that sweet spot of increasing sales and customer loyalty while protecting margins. And it can also help the ones who are actually building the program. So the marketers, the developers that actually have to bring this program to life and put it in front of customers. So we're looking at things like personalization, right? So AI can help guide us on the type of incentives, earning rules, structure that a loyalty program should have based on the customer, the brand, the selling profile, the goals of the vendor, if they're B2C or B2B. We can also take it one level deeper. Even within one program, AI can help us get even more specific for personalized incentives and offers for segments or individual groups of customers. And it can make sure that we're targeting these promotions and incentives to the right customer at the right time in the right context. So all of this can also help us prevent churn. So with AI, we can look at where we've kind of gone awry in the past with loyalty programs and look for those kind of proactive indicators that customers are about to churn and nip that in the bud ahead of time, being a little bit more proactive rather than reactive. So that's an example of data points from past experiences, past actions that AI can kind of calculate to advise us in the future, which will be a bit of a theme that I'm talking about today. We have a note here as well on AI increasing lifetime value of customers. And this is kind of an interesting one because this doesn't even have to be promotion specific. This can let you know actually when there's a customer that is kind of giving indications that they would pay full price for this type of item based on past behavior, based on their profile. So it can help you even outside of promotions or discounts, kind of put the right offer in front of the right person at the right price at the right time. So those are a little bit more of the exciting use cases, a little bit on the less glamorous side, but I think still very exciting personally, are where AI can kind of help with the grunt work. right? So reducing your OpEx time and cost, relieving developer work. So that's something I'll be talking about that Cheerify is very focused on, how we can help developers get programs live faster and free up marketers so they can build kind of the personalized, more complex programs that they can dream up without having to rely on long developer time. And lastly, AI can help reduce fraud. So obviously, as you can imagine, this is a huge problem in loyalty and promotions. It costs companies a ton of money every year. And AI can, again, be a little bit proactive in identifying those indicators of suspicious activity and just like churn, kind of nipping that in the bud ahead of time rather than retroactively seeing that we have an issue. So again, kind of the crux of what AI does for us is it takes learned behavior from customer activity, previous engagement with promotions, promotion performance, and ultimately it uses that from what we've learned in the past to predict the future. So predictive loyalty can be a method of using AI models to target and engage the right type of customers with the right type of loyalty call to action, again, at the right time. Be that even just asking them to sign up for the program, refer a friend, ask them to share first-party data through surveys or quizzes. It's very important to know that you're targeting the right kind of call to action to the right customer to make sure that we're not wasting our time at best or really annoying our customers at worst. So the 4 pillars then of where AI can help us in the loyalty space are personalization, optimization, automation, and enablement. So I'll talk a little bit more about each of these 4 on the coming slides. Personalization. So obviously this has been a topic that a lot of my peers here have been mentioning as well. Personalization in and of itself is not a new concept, right? This is something that marketers have been going after for the last 5+ 10 years. But there are differences in how we work with personalization and how it can work for us pre-IA and post-IA. So pre-IA, when we're looking at targeting customers for promotions, offers, loyalty schemes, all of that segmentation, the triggers of when to send which offers and to who, the promotions themselves, those were all defined manually. So, based on past data points, based on kind of hunches, but educated guesses of the marketing team. And it was very much kind of a test and learn experience, throw some things at the wall to see what kind of sticks. And then once the plan was in place, all of those promotions and that experience needed to be manually built as well, right? So if we want to have 20 different versions of this offer that we're giving to 20 customer segments, we need to define those segments, we need to build the promotions, we need to build the content, the marketing surrounding these promotions, and then we need to set up those triggers. The post-AI, it can do a lot of that work for us. So AI can aggregate based on data we've captured on prior behavior, on prior engagement with different promotions and offers. It can segment customers into groups on its own. It can tell you what sort of triggers should be in place for these customer segments and what types of promotions, at what scale and level of discount they should be sent, and do all of that automatically. On top of that, with generative AI, AI can now actually build all of that for us as well. So it can be building out these customer segments. It can be building out this content. It can even be building out the promotions and the discount level automatically as well. So moving on to automation and optimization. Automation, so this is definitely a topic a lot of others have been speaking on today quite a bit as well. And this is where we can leverage AI to take over all of those repetitive or those automated tasks. So, I know a lot of people get a little bit leery of AI at times, right? Is this going to kind of take over all our jobs and everything we do? And hey, that's a fair concern, but I think there's a real beauty to that in that it can take away a lot of the grunt work and the monotonous tasks, and it can leave the humans to actually focus on points of interest and what matter. So, examples of that, again, being the AI chatbots, as a lot of my peers here have mentioned. Now, the optimization, I think, is the really interesting bit, and this is definitely where I've been seeing kind of the most hot interest lately in the loyalty space of what kind of the groups and companies that I work for are looking for in a loyalty engine. So they want to make sure that they're optimizing their price points, they're optimizing their promotions so that they're really finding that sweet spot of the level of discount that's going to give them the greatest amount of sales at the lowest discount, so they're not actually hurting their margins there. And knowing what type of pricing to present to what groups of customers for which types of products. Now, the enablement side, this is where kind of AI and humans work together. And this is where Voucherify has been really focused in our AI efforts. And that's enablement specifically on the development side of things. So working on kind of AI buddies, developer builders that can help you go launch faster, go live faster. I'm mixing up all my words here. It can help you out there so that, you know, customers can start making money faster. You're not wasting your development time. And again, you can kind of get to what's important. And we have some kind of current state enablement kind of toolkit pieces, if you will, that Voucherify provides live, of which that kind of AI development buddy is going to soon be a new piece. So Voucherify currently provides a free public trial, so anyone can check out Voucherify. Our API references, our SDKs, our sandbox, it's all live, fully free to play around with, along with code samples, open source connectors. So all of this, again, makes it really easy for developers to kind of play around, get a head start on working with Voucherify. Again, with all of this being open source code, Git repositories, API reference guides, that actually makes Voucherify very crawlable for AI as well. To actually build out proof of concepts of our platform relatively quickly without a ton of active developer involvement. Now, we are members of the Mock Alliance. We're very focused on composable commerce, which for those of you who aren't familiar, is basically a best of breed tactic where we believe in compiling a bunch of microservices together that are all specialized in their own role. And based on that, you know, Voucherify, we do loyalty really well. We do promotions, referrals, coupons, all of that very, very well. We're not really trying to be the best at everything just yet. So, you know, we have a very open platform for two-way integrations where we can work with what may be some more advanced optimization platforms to make recommendations and guidance on our promotions. So Voucherify as a tool has a lot of really, really rich data, again, on customer behavior, on previous promotion performance, how these two have played together, that can be easily sent out to these types of optimizers, aggregators, that can make decisions and recommendations based on this and feed that back into Voucherify to determine the segments, the promotions, the type of loyalty scheme and structure and offers that should be used moving forward. So I'll wrap then just with a few notes on kind of Voucherify specifically and what we're looking at in the future with AI. So I'll start with just some notes on how we're kind of evaluating potential AI features. So we've been a little bit cautious, obviously, with everything moving so fast in the AI space at this time. We really wanted to make sure that we weren't jumping in too early and we were being very cautious and considerate with how we were going to invest here. So first and foremost, we're looking at the customer needs, right? Is this going to fulfill a customer need, or is this something flashy and cool for the sake of being flashy and cool? You know, we need to be realistic. Do we have the resources to build this? Is this where we should be putting our time? And the impact, right? So is this going to have a tangible business impact for our customers and for our internal development teams as well? And then lastly, we're looking at the ability to expand. So we want to make sure that wherever we're investing in AI isn't going to be a short-lived trend or kind of a dead-end street. And this is something that will open the door to be able to scale in the future, however AI takes us. So those future ideas here, I've pretty much teased all of these already today. These are kind of where Voucherify is starting to look and experiment. The first one that I don't have explicitly called up here, again, being that kind of developer aid that can help get you live and integrated at heart at the point of sale in your mobile application much quicker. But we are looking at that AI-powered segmentation. So again, based on past indicators, letting you know what customers should be grouped in which manner, should be in what type of loyalty tier, should be incentivized with what type of offers, which is where those promo recommendations come in. So again, we're not just throwing all our promotions at everyone. We're being very strategic through AI at who we're sending which promotions to, at which discount effect for which products, and whichever other incentives will really resonate with that group. We're looking at the AI assistance in terms of pricing optimization, as I mentioned as well. So having another little AI buddy that can do a bit of an evaluation of past campaign performance, kind of the ratio of where the sales came in versus how much was discounted, and that's something that we track, of course, in Voucherify right now, total sales brought in by referrals, by promotions versus the discounted amount. So you can kind of see that margin gap. The AI assistant can help you find where that sweet spot is. And then we're also looking at the deep integration with AI CMS. So obviously to be able to present, loyalty offers, promotions, incentives, earning rules to customers, we need to have the content visible and displayed to them. And so working with AI here can help generate all of that automatically, quicker, and also in terms of accessibility, right? So making sure that the content is accessible, making sure that the content displaying the promotions, the terms and conditions is, sent and created in the appropriate language for where it's being displayed without needing kind of that manual translation and transcription efforts. And that's all I have for today. So yes, I see a hand. I would love time for questions if we have any. Yes.
You give us any examples of programs that you think are now using AI?
That I think are now using AI.
Or examples where it's currently being used that you guys are following, or ones that we might be familiar with?
So the thing is, I don't know off the top of my head, and I think that's kind of how it should be, right? So I think it should be below the surface, right? We don't want to feel like we are talking to a bot, or, that this is a non-human touch that's generated this experience for me, even though really that's what it is. So that's kind of my belief here, that the AI layer, as it will, should actually be pretty hidden. So right now for us at Voucherify, it's pretty fresh. A lot of our programs, are still manually built, right? The marketers are learning from past behavior. They're building the programs out accordingly, but that's kind of the next level of space where we're looking. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Within your customers, would you highlight any of them as having what you think is a particularly very strong loyalty program?
Yeah, sure. So I think Casa and Michelin are good examples. At this stage, not because they're necessarily doing anything completely groundbreaking in the programs, but because they've been able to scale across many countries. And within that, being able to create different versions of the program that abide by different currencies or different kind of social norms within the country, buyer behavior, expectations. And that's kind of no small feat, certainly to be able to do at that scale. So those are two that come to mind that I think are doing very well in this space. Yes.
So earlier you mentioned how both the current AI you're using Gen AI for emotional experiences. What's its actual involvement at that time? Is it like generating marketing email? How is Gen AI used that level?
Yeah, in the ideal state, it's going to be all of the above. So the use case that you're describing is definitely more of the current state, right, where it's related to the content. So in Voucherify, we have, as an example, one of our APIs is called the Qualifications API. And so what that does is it looks at a context of if you're browsing on a particular product page, it'll look at the context of that product page, and if there is potentially a bundle you're almost eligible for that you could add to the cart. It'll also look at the context of who the individual customer is, if they're in a loyalty tier, their past behavior, past promotions, any individual coupons they have available to them, and it can present that out front as well. So to be able to be so dynamic in that out-front presentation, that's where we will want to be using, forms of generative AI to kind of present, hey, here's this promotion, here's why it's relevant to you, and get that kind of in the face of the end user. That's going to be kind of phase one of it. Phase two, as I mentioned, which we're not quite there yet, but this is where, again, we're looking on the roadmap, is to have AI not only make the recommendations of this is the type of the promotion that you should be running at this scale on these products at this discount amount, to actually go and generate and build that for human approval as well. Thank you. Yep, and I have contact details up here. I'm friendly, I like to chat, so don't be scared to reach out if you have any further questions about loyalty promotions or Voucherify. You can also give me a shout on LinkedIn at Amy Cannon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amy. Hi, everybody. My name is Zoya. So we covered a lot of ground on AI today, and my mind is already spinning, right? So we covered AI in customer service, we covered AI in sales, we covered AI in product development, and a big shout out to Yuri here. I loved your anecdote about Unilever and the mom AI bit, right? So such a clear demarcation and a clear path to how AI is transforming tangible results on top line, right? And most of your inroads were around that part. So AI is powering a lot of things, but what's powering AI? Anybody knows what GANs is all about? I could do a show of hands here. Anybody heard, read, in passing? Yes, sir. Oh, okay. Okay. So it's essentially a framework, right? So it's a framework. So there are many frameworks in AI, and the generative adversarial network is one such framework in the AI space of things, which is used as an application in many industries and is gaining a lot of momentum of late, right? So I'm not going to take a lot of your time. Let me quickly dive in. And I want to be the last man standing between you and your date with Netflix at home. Okay, so here's the agenda. We'll look at applications of GANs in various fields, and we will talk about the future of GANs. And then I would love to get any questions if you have any. So what is GANs, right? Generative adversarial networks. What is this animal all about? So it's basically a machine learning framework, and it has a neural network of an eliminator and a generator, right? Now the eliminator and the generator, they are basically the crux of what the output for data is in a GAN environment. These two are not friends. The generator and the eliminator are not friends. They are adversaries. That's why the name generative adversarial network. So what happens here is there is a random noise, as you can see in a screen. The generator tries to convert that into a data sample. It does not just convert that random noise to a data sample, it also adds synthetic data samples to it and throws it all towards the eliminator or the discriminator, who has to weed out the fake from the actual data. This is how the machine, the whole algorithm and the model learns over time. So what the generative has to do is keep throwing more and more data, which is more and more accurate, by the way, to the discriminator. And the discriminator has to then weed out from that accurate data, even more accurate data, to kind of, that is the output, that is the ultimate objective of a GAN environment, which is how you get real actual data, which is what your AI prompts give you when you enter a prompt command in any AI tool that you use today in the market. Various fields where GANs are making a significant impact, right? Including but not limited to, right? So you see a lot of things here. There's cybersecurity, healthcare, sustainability, a lot of ESG initiatives, right? Robotics, education, agriculture, and urban planning. How does the framework work? So this is a high level, pictorial representation of how the data is ingested and how it's eventually put out in a form of data that is usable and transferable. GANs for good, healthcare, sustainability, robotics, agriculture, urban planning applications, so on and so forth. And I would love to take questions if any. Okay, I'm assuming that was good.
Okay, hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about how AI can be used, how AI can be leveraged to cater to customer support solutions. So today I'm going to be talking about all the offerings done by Amazon. As we all know, we talked about Microsoft Copilot. We know about generative AI capabilities offered by Google. We know Amazon is also in the race. And I vouch for Amazon because I've been exploring all their products, all their web services. So I would just like to go with a quick interview about what Amazon Q is. So basically, it is a Gen AI chatbot which is created by Amazon. It is said to be the master of wizardry with AWS. It is aware of all the AWS services that are offered, such as these. It is integrated with their IDEs. It is integrated with Code Whisper. It knows where your architecture is stuck. It is very good with architectural debugging. So if your enterprise is already on Amazon, it's a great way to debug it and help with the code, also to structure the new solutions that you're planning. One of the best things that Amazon offers is a various set of large language models, which are in-house and out-house. As you can see, we have Claude, we have Llama 2 as well. So along with this, I would like to highlight what are the problems that are related to customer support. So as we know about the first one that we can see is long wait times. I know you guys can relate to it. Whenever I have a problem with any of the products, the wait line for getting addressed to a simple query or a simple problem is too much. So this is something that can be addressed with the solution that I'm going to represent here. Poor communication. Usually the people addressing my problems don't know about the product. They don't know about how to tell it to me in a proper way that I can understand and make that process easy. Difficulty reaching. Since we know that, okay, if there's a bug or if there's something down with your service, the number of input calls to your customer support increases variably all of a sudden, and you cannot get those agents at the time. Ineffective solutions. Sometimes I am trying to say something else, but the thing that I impart to others would be something else. So this ineffective solution comes out of miscommunication and sometimes not knowing the documentation or your product well enough. The next one is lack of follow-up. We all know that, okay, once I got addressed by some customer support representative, I didn't get a follow-up call from them. I didn't get a follow-up email from them. Why was that? Like, I was not satisfied with it. How do I communicate that? So all these problems can be addressed by the solution that I'll be proposing. So for that demo, this is going to be a live demo on call, so I'll need some silence for that. Meet Joe. Joe is one of the employees at a company. He's packed, his schedule is packed, and he has to make some travel arrangements. So what does he do? He has an assistant on call. He can simply call the number, he can place his request, and the agent will go and do his work on his behalf. How do we see that? This is the exceptional offering that Amazon Q provides with Amazon Connect. Basically, the AI will go and place the call instead of me talking or Joe talking and talking to the reception of, the receptionist at the hotel to make a arrangement for the upcoming trip. So let's quickly see that.
Thank you for connecting with Royal Fiber. How may I help you?
I would like to book a hotel.
How many nights will you be staying?
3.
What city will you be staying in?
Chicago.
When do you want to check in?
10th November 2024.
Which kind of room would you like to stay in? King, queen, or suite?
Queen.
Which hotel would you prefer?
Marriott Convoy.
Which hotel would you prefer?
Marriott Convoy.
Okay. I have a request to book a queen for 3 nights in Chicago. The check-in date is November 10th, 2024, and preferred hotel is L101. Should I confirm the booking?
Yes.
Thanks. I have placed your reservation. Hope you have a good day.
So now this bot goes, it takes in my request, and now it's calling the receptionist, which is me again.
Okay.
This is the hotel reception. How may I help you?
Hi there. I was looking to book a room at your hotel. I'm thinking about staying for 3 nights. I'm looking for a queen room, if that's available. My check-in date would be the 10th of November, 2024. Oh, and the city is Chicago. Can you help me with that?
Certainly, we have a room available for $200 per night. So your total would be 660, including tax. Is that fine with you? So it goes to the database, it fetches the number, it takes all your requests
All right.
and
Sounds
makes
good.
a.
I'll take the room for 3 nights. Could you please proceed with the booking? Also, could you tell me about the amenities that come with the room?
Surely, you have a pool and gym with our property, and the booking ID would be 12345. Is there anything else that I could help you with?
That's great to hear about the pool and gym. Thanks for providing the booking in as well. Can you please confirm?
So that's how you can leverage Amazon Q with Amazon Connect to tailor your AI bot to place calls. It can talk to anyone that you want. It can do tailored tasks such as booking a hotel, booking a reservation for your dinner, or maybe booking tickets for your next trip to amusement park, something like that. So along with this, one thing that I would like to highlight is that we can use this for feedback calls, fraud detection, fraud confirmation, payment confirmation. We can also do this for healthcare communication. So all those tasks where we need a customer representative, they can be automated with the solution. I would also like to highlight the technical aspect of it. Since I'm a technical guy, I would just like to show you how that has been tailored. Here we have a queue where basically you can customize the flow, how the flow goes via various bots, how the intent is satisfied, how it is fulfilled, which task to do it, it's all here. So basically it goes to my Lex bot, which identifies my intent, which in turn goes to my Lambda function, which talks to the Bedrock language model and ultimately gets me the response. There are a lot of offerings by Amazon. They are trying to come up with a solution that is integrated with all of their architecture. You can see it is just not limited to Amazon Connect. We have several other technologies on AWS platform that can be used with it. We have Amazon Poly that gives lifelike speech responses so that you feel like you're actually talking to a human. Another thing, I have another demo in my pocket for you guys. It is basically how Amazon Q assists with the customer representatives during a live call. So it's a demo that has been recorded by me, and let's see it. So here it is. It's a conversation that is going on with the customer and the customer support representative. Let's see how Amazon Q helps the customer agent in delivering the responses. Okay, so basically, whenever the live call is happening and the customer representative in the current solution, he has to go through all your documents. He has to go through your database. He has to go through your so he has to go through the database. He has to know your product in depth. So you can skip all those training times. You can skip the wait times. You can streamline this process and deliver your customer support in a much efficient manner. So that's the capability of Amazon Q. It has a lot more in their baggage for future. They're trying to automate the ETL process. We're trying to automate the insights using QuickSight. So business analytics, the presentation of data, everything is taken care of using Q. That will be all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for attending this.